Hey guys, Joebizz34 here, back again with another review. This time it is of the Hot Toys Dark Knight Rises DX12. Basically an upgrade to the original Dark Knight DX2. And very happy with it, but I have some problems with it, and I'll get into that. And I'm not going to make this a real extenuous review because I know other people have gotten this figure already. There's been a lot of YouTube videos of people already reviewing this. So, at this point, I think most people have made up their mind whether they want it or not, or, what the quirks are, and I'll get into that. I'm not nearly as picky or nitpicky as some people. I'll tell you right off the bat, some people have complained about the eyes and the mouthpieces, and I gotta be honest with you, I don't have a problem with them. I don't care about resculpting them or darkening the eyes, whatever. I like them just the way they are. And if you do position it, play around and futz with it a bit, you can get it to look acceptable if it does bother you. And also, I'm going to be reviewing the Batpod, which the Dark Knight Rises Batpod. Now, I figured I'd review this in one review. Now, I never owned the other one. This is the first 1/6 vehicle I've owned of anything. And I figured it was small enough. I usually collect like 118 cars or 115 like for movie cars because I don't have the space. But I figured the Batpod was one thing I could pull off. I do have a 1/6 Ed209, Hot Toys Ed209. That's the only other 1/6 thing that's not really like a figure that I have, and that's big. That's bigger than this. But this I figured I could pull off. I didn't display anybody on it yet. I'm thinking of either using it right now for the DX2 Batman, or I may use the DX2 as an unmasked Batman and use the Bruce Wayne sculpt. I haven't decided. Or I may use it with the interrogation scene when I get the new Joker with the table. I may use the other Batman for that. He's very nice, but I kind of like him to be on his own. I don't want to put him on the Batpod. I also have Catwoman coming when that gets released in 2013. So there's a possibility I may display her with this. So there's a lot of options. So for now, I just wanted to showcase it as is, as a separate item, so I didn't put a figure on it. It will be tedious to put a figure on, I can tell you that, and I can already tell that it might be a little bit of a challenge. This thing is very sturdy. It's durable, but it has some delicate pieces to it, and I'll get into that in a minute too. So let me cover Batman first, then I'll get back to this. So the Dark Knight Rises. Okay, so I'm going to get in real close here. You can see there's his eyes. It has the Purr's eyes, and some people complain that, like I said, it's a little goofy on this sculpt. I don't get that. I mean, I could be picky like the next guy sometimes. I think I'm less picky when it comes to Hot Toys. I do customize for people that know me, and I do fix him. Look what I did to the Bespin Luke, the damaged Luke. I did further weather the outfit and stuff, and if I feel like there's fixing needed, I'll do it. For Batman here, I don't feel it's necessary. Maybe I'm not into it as much, or I don't know, I don't have OCD about it, because I do have OCD about some things, so I'm not complaining about the people that do. I understand. But I love the faceplate, especially the angered one. I have the open angered mouth one on right now. I'm going to try to zoom in really close here so you guys can see. Alright, there we go. Alright, that's about as close as I'm going to get with these lenses. Now, I don't know, with him looking up and the head kind of tilted down, I don't have a problem with it, and I like the angered mouth. The one mouth I say is a little goofy, I don't have it here, but it's in the box, is the neutral mouth. It does have sort of like a weird smirk to it, so I wouldn't use that. But the angry closed mouth, or like the scowl mouth, and then this mouth, I have no problem with. I like it. And I like the eyes. I think this is way better than the DX2. It's an improvement, and I don't have the need to fix it or sculpt around it or anything like that. I like it just as is, and I'm happy with it. Other people have complained about the width of the head, saying it's a little short in the back. Once again, maybe that's true, but nitpicking, I think, I don't have a problem with it. I can understand, some of the complaints. I'm not saying that it's not true in some cases, but I just don't feel it's glaring enough to me to worry about, honestly. This is an expensive figure, and I don't really have the need right now to go in and and fix all these things, or I don't think it's really necessary, to be honest with you. The belt is fantastic. It's got like more of a metal look than the older version. They really did, and the suit is the biggest improvement. The suit, like others have said, is the best suit that they've done. I don't think you'll hear about any complaints about oil leaking out of this one, because it's not really completely rubber. I mean, it's got the rubber pieces, but it does have like a fabric underneath. It's the most realistic suit they've ever made. So I would say the biggest improvement is the suit. The gauntlets are a little clunky, and it does have trouble. The one negative I would say... All right, I'm going to get into the negatives now. Okay, first of all, I'll finish with the stand. The stand is beautiful. I love the stand. And I have him in a fighting pose because that reminds me of the City Hall scene, you know, when he's fighting with Bane and all the, you know, his henchmen at the end there. So I have him kind of like in a fighting scene because, you know, when I think of Dark Knight Rises, it's not my favorite of the three movies, but I think of a lot of hand-to-hand combat. You know, there's a lot of fighting. You know, the scene when Bane, I say dislocates his back because I don't believe it was broken like in the comics, because I think the guy in the prison kind of fixed him way too easily for it to be broken. So I think it was I think like he dislodged something, or they made it for the sake of moving the story along quicker, because in the comics it took him a year to heal. So I don't think his back was like legitimately broken. I think it was more dislocated, but whatever. That's a separate issue, separate argument. But you know, you think of the infamous fight there. You think of the fight at the end, and it was mostly, you know, in this movie, you know, other than him using the flying bat thing, and his Batpod in the beginning, you know, a lot of it was fist hand fighting and, you know, that kind of stuff. So, you know, for him, you know, I might futz with him more, but just a simple fighting pose I think suffices here, or maybe even just a natural pose. You know, I don't want him holding any weapons. You know, he didn't really use a lot of bat gadgets in Dark Knight Rises, other than his flying bat. You know, when he was on the ground, it was mainly just you know, like I said, hand to hand. You know, so that's what calls out to me for this one. So like I said, I might futz with it before, maybe try to get a little more of a natural look. This is just for the sake of reviewing it and doing the video. So my two negatives is the fists. The hands come off way too easily because the gauntlets kind of get in the way. So you need to like push the gauntlet back on the arm to pop the hand on securely. But they do come off easily, and the gauntlet pops off easily too when you're moving the arms. So watch out for that. Nothing that breaks. I just think it's a little loosey-goosey there. Did I just say that? The head I like, you know, as usual, it's got like the magnet system, so I love how easy it is to take the head off. And it makes for posing the head really easy. I think all the head sculpts should be magnetized like that. I think that's great. So, you know, you can do all kinds of wacky things. I'm dying. But anyway, so, you know, that makes life a lot easier. So the other thing is the cape. Now, once again, some people complain about the cape. Some people say it's great. I'm kind of in the middle of the road. I think the cape is still not perfect. I think it's the best cape they've made. I like the cape, and it's good enough for me to keep. I'm not going to go and spend money on a custom cape, at least not for right now, unless I change my mind later. I don't have a problem with the cape. I think it's one of the best capes they've made, and it is a little flaky with how you clip it in. I will say that, and that does bug me a little bit. I had a little trouble with that. But you know, if you futz it, it's got a little wire that comes like out to here. I don't know why they didn't go all the way down, but so you can kind of use that to shape it and kind of make it hang a little more naturally. So I think, you know, overall, it's a big upgrade, and I have no problem with him overall. I really like this figure. Here he is from a little bit back. All right, and like I said, I think it's one of the best Batmans to date. I would say it is the best Batman to date. All right. Okay, so my time is almost up with the 10-minute mark, so I'm going to let the camera run out, and then I'll start a new thing, and I'll edit it later, and then this way I'll get into the Bruce Wayne head sculpt and the other things on show you the box. All right, and then I'll get into the Batpod real quick too. Okay, so I'll get the Bruce Wayne head sculpts here ready, and you'll see a little bit of an edit because the camera's going to run out, and then I'll be back to discuss this. And I got two here, and I'll explain why. One's from the Toy Fair, Batman Begins, and this is the new one that we could compare. And I can tell you really quickly, I have a little more time. The one on the right here is the new one that comes with this figure, the Dark Knight Rises. And the one on the left is the Toy Fair one. Okay. Alright, there you go. Now, both very good Bruce Wayne sculpts, but as you can see here, to me, you know, they did improve it. I mean, he looks a little more older here. Now, you know, the movie's supposed to take place 8 years later, so he has got more mature, more of a red toned skin. I think the skin tone's a little more flush and a little more realistic on this one. So we'll get into that in a minute. Let me just... Okay, guys, I'm back. So now I got a whole nother 10 minutes before this thing. So as you can see, the hairstyle's a little different. Whoops, I just knocked them over. The hairstyle's a little different. As you can see here, a little more greased back. Kind of has more of a Patrick Bateman look, I think, in some ways. I'm not going to even get into that argument, because originally I sold my Batman Begins Toy Fair figure, but I kept the head sculpt because I really liked the head sculpt, and I figured I would save this head sculpt for maybe like a Patrick Bateman custom or another Christian Bale custom, or even Bruce Wayne, because I might use one of these heads on the DX2. That's another option, you know, like I said, to have an unmasked Batman version too. So this one has like a much softer skin tone. As you can see, a little more pale. And he does have a little bit of a younger look, which I guess would, the Dark Knight takes place 8 years before. And then you have this one, which is a little more harsh, a little more hardened, a little more angered look, or a little more, intense. Kind of go this way so you can see it better. Excellent sculpt, and it's got, like I said, a little more flesh color, a little redder in the face. My focusing is really not cooperating with me on the camera today. Come on. There we go. Okay. So, big improvement. I mean, not big improvement, but an improvement. And it's different. It does have two different looks. So, you kind of got your option there, which Bruce Wayne sculpt you want to use for different things. As you can see, this one comes with the adapter attached, ready, where this one was kind of built into the neck. Little differences there. So, that might cause a problem if you want to use this head sculpt on another version of Batman. So, we'll see how that goes. There may be customizing involved with that. So overall, from 1 to 10, I would give this figure an 8. And the only reason why I don't give it a 10 is because, like I said, the hands pop off a little easily for me, a little flimsy because of the gauntlets, and because of a little bit off with the cape. I think the cape is great, but I think the clip thing here, the clip system is a little weird, and I don't like it. And I think once again, if I could futz it where the cape is a little more flattened here, a little more down, I think it would look better. But do I think the cape should be replaced? Do I think it's bad enough that it should be? No. The DX2, I did get a custom cape, but for this, I think the cape that comes with him is fine. If you want to upgrade, that's your decision. I mean, it's nothing. Nobody could say, no one's gonna say otherwise. I wouldn't argue you with replacing it if that's what you want. It's your figure. I'm just saying that for me, the cape is fine. So I give him about an 8, maybe an 8.5. I'll show you the box real quick. The box is beautiful. Here's the box. All right, it's got the gray and black color scheme this time. In typical fashion, it's got the same thing. There's the nice logo there. Okay, that's that little chalk thing they showed in the movie where the kids were showing that he's still alive, he's still around. And here's the inside. The other face plates are there. Okay, there's the other face plates. You take this out, and there's his other. It comes with another belt, which maybe I'll put this on the DX2 because it's still a much better looking belt. Other hand grips as usual, the open hands and gun holding hands. There's his weapons. Now the gun, the EMP gun or the EMS, whatever you call it, I have attached to the Batpod, so I'll get to that in a minute. And then underneath here you have the instructions where the base was and all that. And of course, the little hook here. Here's the little hook that it comes with, so that you can use this to do, change out the purrs and stuff, to move the purrs around. And with this one, I do recommend using this. I mean, usually you can get your finger in there, and you still can, but this one's a little tighter in there, so I recommend using this tool so you don't break anything. All right, now, the Batpod. First thing off the bat I'm going to say, this thing kicks butt, okay? I'm keeping it clean in case my kid watches this video. It has a very realistic shock, like, it does feel like a real motorcycle, like it has a bounce to it when you sit on it. Very good detail with the guns and everything. The tires are great, and I don't know if you can see on the camera, they actually do put like some dirt. Looks like Fuller's Earth, like that fake dirt you put on to make it dusty, like an Indiana Jones jacket or something. And I have some of that stuff, so, if this wears out, because it actually comes off. When I took it out of the box, some of it was on the plastic, so it's stuff they did add to it for realism. And it looks great. It does look used. But I have Fuller's Earth that I use for my custom, so if I ever wanted to add more, or if it wears out, I could, the great thing is just throw some more on it. The one negative I would say that's delicate is these arm bars here, these arm handles. They pop off really easily. I mean, I put them on the way the instructions said, and they sit well when you don't touch it. But the minute you go to try to, do something or move it, it pops off, it falls off really easily. It doesn't break, so it's not delicate in that matter, but it does pop off a lot. So it might frustrate you, especially when you're trying to get the figure on here. So look out for that. Now, like I said, I don't know how this compares to the first Batpod release. I never had the first one. I think in some ways it's probably just a reissue. I don't know why they would have upgraded that too much of it. Now underneath it right here, you have to take this thing off. Okay, this thing pops off, and this is another thing that can come off a little easy in my eyes. And there's where you put the batteries. There's a little screw there, and you put the batteries in there. It takes two AAAs actually. Oh, you see, it just fell off. See, and I didn't really do anything, so I'll put that back on. But the switch is right under here. Okay, once you got the batteries in, the on-off switch is right there, and There's the lights. Whoa, and this thing is going to go rolling. Now, that's the other thing I was going to say about it. It will roll. See, there's the lights. Cool. All right, awesome. Let me just focus in better. I'm sorry if this video is blurry. My camera's really acting against me today. So there's the lights, okay, and I did add this EMP gun here. Now, it comes with a little bracket in the Dark Knight figure, actually, the Rises figure, comes with a bracket that you use to connect to the Batpod. Now, in the instructions, it shows it facing this way, but I actually have it going this way, because I figured it would make more sense if he's using it while he's riding, you know, aim it at something and then kill the power on it, which I thought that's what he did in the movie. So I'm not really sure. I may be naive. I'll have to see the movie again. Maybe it actually, he was facing it, maybe it was faced the other way, I don't know. But, you know, I figured by facing it this way, you know, you can, if I can get it on, if you turn it on, you can at least, there you go, you could see the light, you know, and I think it works well with that on, and then you have the lights on here. Now, like I said, there's pins that come with the that you put in the tires. Okay, there's a pin, if you can see it, the red pin. Now, I initially took it out, and I could tell you right now, this thing almost went rolling right off here. So, if you're going to display this on a shelf or somewhere high, do not remove the pin. Each tire comes with a pin. I only have the back one. Really, one's enough to stop it from rolling. All right, you don't need both in there. But, like I said, if you're not planning on, you know, if you're going to have it in somewhere where if it rolls, it doesn't matter, like on a flat shelf or something, like a wide space, don't worry about it, because I do like the fact the wheels can move. But if you're going to have it on a shelf or like in a DTOF, or I don't know if it fit in a DTOF, but some sort of display case where the space is limited, like kind of like the way it is here, keep the pin in, at least one of the pins, so it doesn't roll, because this thing did almost go flying, and luckily I caught it. Otherwise, I would have been getting out the crazy glue. I can tell you that right now. So, detail and everything else, like I said, I haven't attempted to put a figure on it, and I would say the only negative I give it is the flimsiness of the arm things here. Like I said, the one came off. I'll fix it after I'm done through a video. But other than that, it's a beautiful piece. And if you've been always wanting a 1.6 vehicle, but you were afraid of space or it being too big, I would say start with this, because it's big. I mean, you know, in the grand scheme of things, when you kind of zone back, you can see it's big. But it is doable for a limited space compared to, like, let's say, the Tumbler, or the Batmobile. I mean, think about this. One of these tires right here, look how fat that is. Look at my hand. One of these tires would be one of the two front tires on the Tumbler, because this supposedly pops out of it, right? So think about the size. I mean, that's insane. So this is about as far as I would go, okay? But I'm going to have a lot of fun displaying this. Like I said, I'm probably going to end up putting Catwoman on this, I think, more so, if I'm going the Dark Knight Rises route. And then I'll save my Batmans for them to be on their own, or maybe, like I said, have one Batman like this and one with his mask off for the DX2, or displayed with the Joker. Anyway, that's it. That was a doozy. So overall, I'd say everything together, you know, individually, I would give it, you know, Batman an 8, and I would give the Batpod a 9. I love it, except for the arm pieces, the arm handles. It is delicate, and the little grip handle for the hand does pop off too. So just be careful of that. So I would give that a 9. I just deduct the point for the flimsiness of the arms, the arm protectors. Other than that, it's a great piece. And like I said, I give Batman about an 8, 8.5, somewhere in there. You know, if the cape was a little easier with here, a little less thick there, and maybe a little more secure with the arms, or something with the gauntlets, I don't know, then I would give it even a better, you know, I would give it almost a 10. And like I said, as far as the eyes and the mouth pads, I don't have any problem with that. So, I'm very happy overall, and thank you for watching my vid, and maybe I helped you make up your mind if you're still on the fence of either one of these items. All right, until next time, guys, I'll be back. I have more customs on the way. I'm not gone and forgotten for good. I've just had other things going on. I'm still trying to find a job, and I've been busy doing other things and getting my basement rearranged. So, but I'll be back. You know, I still have customs to show and everything else. So, and more Hot Toys reviews in the future. So, I have the T2 coming, the Cyberdyne T2 DX figure coming too. So I'll be back for that. I actually just wanted to mention something really quick that I forgot to mention in my initial video, so sorry guys, I'm back. Real quick, I just wanted to add something real quick that's important. In the Batpod box, which I'll show you is in the kitchen right now, it's really big. I mean, there's nothing really special to show about it. It just basically has the Batpod, and it's pretty huge. There it is, all opened and stuff. But in the top of the box, when you first open it, there's this plastic piece right here. And I was almost ready to discard it because I thought I just thought it was for packing. It feels like plastically. and it's got this little strap. But in the instructions, it actually shows how this connects to the back of Batman. Okay, and you actually connect this to the back of Batman. So it'll be like around here. Okay, underneath. And then I guess when he's sitting on the vehicle, if you're going to put Batman, it would be kind of like this when he's sitting there. And then the cape drapes over this, and I guess this helps keeps the cape flat, so it doesn't kind of like fall and cover up the Batpod. So this is actually a very important piece. It has like ridges in it too, so that the cape, you could see to stick the cape in there. And it's in the instructions. So if you buy the Batpod and you see this, do not throw it away. It is part of it. And it does come in handy as far as allowing the cape to lay flat and flow better while he's sitting on the Batpod. So I just wanted to add that, okay? So once again, Joebizz34, peace out, and I'll see you guys soon.